Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for Pennsylvania Music Educators Association Music Education Advocacy Day here at the Pennsylvania State Capitol. I'm Mark Despotakis, the Director of Public and Government Affairs for PMEA. PMEA represents more than 3,700 members who work with students in every corner of the Commonwealth, and we're united by a simple belief. Music is not an extra, it is essential to a well-rounded education and to the future of our students and our communities. When students participate in music, they become more engaged learners and stronger citizens, creatively, culturally, intellectually, socially, and emotionally. PMEA believes that every pre-K through 12th grade student in Pennsylvania deserves guaranteed access to standards-based music and arts instruction, taught and assessed by certified educators in every school and in every zip code. Our goal today is to connect that belief to clear policy action, and you'll hear from a number of voices who each play an important role in making that happen. So first, I would like to bring up Representative Joe Cerisi. He has been a strong voice for the arts and equitable opportunities for students across Pennsylvania. Representative Cerisi?
All right, there he is, my biggest fan. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is the arts. Come on. And how do they know you appreciate them? By great applause. So let's hear some great applause to the kids behind us. There you go, one whistle. So I'm thrilled to be here this morning to talk about music educators and the arts. I myself am a musician, a degree in music from the great University of Miami, even though we came in second in the national championship of football, but that's another story for another day. I know the importance of the arts and music and how it influences our children's lives and those teachers who we take with us for the rest of our lives. I grew up in New York, and the teacher that influenced me the most is a gentleman named Sandy Valerio. Sandy was our choir director in the high school, still lives on Long Island. His wife was a musician in the pits for Broadway and at the Metropolitan Opera House. And Sandy introduced us to music that we would never sing in a high school. Dora Flay's Requiem, the Chichester Psalms by Bernstein, works that were done only in colleges we were doing in high school. But the arts shaped my life. For children who may not be athletic or who may not be in the other type of clubs, music is what brings us together. And when we don't support the arts in districts, we don't put the money into music like we do other areas, we lose children. But then when we do support it, we see where these children go on to and the successes that they have. And this isn't a fly-by-night thing that you just do for 4 years or 5 years while you're in school. You take this with you for the rest of your life. Music is the universal language and what brings us together as people. Music is what calms the average beast. Don't we usually hear that? And I know I had a dog that was always off the wall, and my wife would go, "Why are you playing classical music?" Because the dog would calm right down. We need to support the arts in school. We need to support the educators who teach the arts in school, and we need to let people know that they are just as important as the chemistry teacher and the history teacher, as the football coach and the arts teacher. All the arts needs to be well supported. So when your school boards go to cut something, make sure that on their lips is never the arts. And make sure that you come out in as many people as they do if they say they're going to cut the football team. Now, I'll leave you with this. My football team, when I grew up in high school, was awful. We didn't win anything. When we left, I think they won a state championship. But the 300 of us who played in the marching band, that's what everyone came out to see. They wanted to see the band play on that field, and then halftime the stadium cleared out. So they did come out to support the arts. So I'm looking forward to hearing them sing, lift every voice and sing. Thank you all the parents who have done your hard work and will continue to support these kids. All of you, make sure you keep playing, singing, doing everything you're doing, and thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Cerisi. And yes, we are so delighted to have the students with us today from Pierce Middle School in the Westchester Area School District, and you will be hearing them perform in just a little bit. But I would like to bring one of those students up. I'd like to introduce Maggie Rogers. She is an 8th grader from Pierce Middle School, and her colleague students are behind me in the Westchester Area School District. Maggie's going to talk to us from a student's perspective, what it means to have access to strong music programs, and how decisions made in this building shape opportunities for students like her. Maggie?
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Maggie Rogers. I'm an 8th grade student from Pierce Middle School in the Westchester Area School District. I am honored to share with you today about the huge impact music education has on so many students. Thank you to all the legislators, educators, and parents present today for supporting music education. For me, choir isn't just a class or a group I joined to go on field trips. It's a place where I love to start my day. I feel completely understood, where I can express myself, sing out proudly, and feel welcome every day. Music is inclusive, so no matter your gender, age, or friend group, when we all perform together, we are one voice. It is such an uplifting experience to sing as one. I'm proud to be a part of something bigger than myself, and it's within music and art programs where connection and community grow. Even on days when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, the music community brings relaxation, excitement, and instant positivity. Through choir, I've learned important lessons about patience and teamwork. When singing in a choir, you can't just focus on your own voice. You must blend, adjust, and work together. That's something I don't think you can learn from a textbook. I've always learned to be patient with myself, and even if I make mistakes, I know I can always keep working. That persistence I learned in choir is something that has helped me tackle challenges outside and in school. Music education also teaches that great accomplishments come from perseverance and grit. As many of us know, choir isn't always easy. We learn complex harmonies, follow difficult timing, and spend long hours preparing for performances. This all requires immense dedication and focus, but when everything finally comes together, the sense of accomplishment is deeply rewarding. I always feel so proud of myself after performances when I know that all my hard work has finally paid off. It boosts my confidence and reminds me that effort and hard work lead to success. To wrap it up, music education is more than just an extracurricular activity for me. It is vital for many students and just as important as math or science or anything else. Thank you all for having us here today and for sharing our love of music.
Thank you, Maggie. I think we can almost stop right there, right? Like once you hear, really from a student and what it's doing for her, and so look for her to be performing here in just a little bit and really showing what she talked about. So next, we would like to invite up another wonderful champion for public education, as well as the role of music and arts in the schools. Representative Eddie Dapashinsky will talk from firsthand experience as a practicing musician, a former music educator, and now a member of the Pennsylvania House about the power and importance of music education.
Thank you very, very much, Mark. Wow, Maggie, unbelievable. Are you sure you're only in 8th grade?
I'm positive.
There's no way. I think she's graduated from university somewhere, my God. And I can't wait to hear this outstanding group. And what a pleasure it is for me to be with my colleague, Representative Joe Cerisi. Representative Cerisi, Representative Webster, and I, we have an opportunity throughout our time here at the Capitol to perform at times. We do it for the baseball game, the softball game, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, what has been said is absolutely correct. Music, the arts, they're not minor subjects, they're major subjects. I had the distinct pleasure of teaching music at the Greater Nanticoke Area School District for nearly 4 decades. I also was the choral director, and I had a blast with my kids. My kids didn't come from, a great deal of money. They were hardworking folks, the families, and as a result, the music that we had in our schools brought forth so much vigor, exercise, energy, excitement, and love for the school, as well as love for music. There was a point where we had over 150 kids, 200 kids in our elementary choir. Senior high choir also, heavy, 75 to 100 kids. And it was an absolute blast throughout this whole thing. I did a few things a little different, though. I also had a rock band. I had a rock band. I still have a rock band. Look it up, Eddie Day and TNT. Music has been my life. And music has helped me get to this spot to have the honor and the distinction of being a state representative, because the name Eddie Day is the stage name, and that helped me get here. Music, the arts, they are major subjects. That one note, that one sound stimulates the brain immediately. Yeah, not everyone is going to become a performer. Not everyone is going to become an artist, but that music in their lives fulfills and expands their knowledge and the brilliance of being around. So it is my honor here to be with you. I was a PMEA member for many years. I was a PMEA officer for many years. I know exactly what we have to go through. The district chorus, region chorus, state chorus, all those competitions, fantastic. That experience for these kids is, you can't put a price tag on it. Music, art, all those arts should be in our schools as a regular part of the curriculum. Unfortunately, that's the first thing that's cut whenever the districts don't receive the funds. So we need all of you out there to fight for this. All of you out there to make sure you reach out to your representatives, your senators, and the governor to say, thank you, Governor. He definitely infused a great deal of dollars last year, so now all of a sudden things are starting to come back to normal. We need those dollars to keep everything going. You have the power of the people. Your vote, your voice means a great deal. Why are you doing it? You're doing it for them. You're doing it for the betterment of Pennsylvania, the betterment of their lives. It's indeed my honor to serve as a state rep. It was a blast being a teacher, and it's still cool being a rock and roll guy in a rock band. The name of the band is Eddie Day and TNT. Look it up. And we'll cook for you. We'll be performing this summer. Let me give you one last thing. Yesterday, I spent about 8-10 hours with a group called NEPA's Got Talent. And that's a bunch of music teachers that came together 5 years ago. We came together with the Bogusco Music Store. And what we do is we put on a show. Yesterday we had 29 individuals perform. And we have the audience vote for them as well as judges. And the prizes are $1,000, $750, $500, $250. The audience votes as well. But we raise the money to offer music scholarships for kids that are going to be going into music and the arts. It's called NEPA's Got Talent. Let's do that all over the place. Thank you all very much. Mark, can't wait to hear you. Give me some smile.
Here, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. So I have to say, you have been a champion for music education, obviously from your time in teaching, and then at your time here in the General Assembly. And you'll be retiring, which we hate to see. But you know, as long as I've done this work, you're someone who is, every year I come here, you say, what about this? What about this? Try this, do this. And you've always been so welcoming to us in this building, but also throughout the year to say, what can we do to help? And we truly appreciate that. You have been such an incredible champion, and we will miss you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
I appreciate it very much.
Representative Paszynski, I just want to echo Mark's remarks here and thank you for all of your hard work, and it is my distinct pleasure and really an honor to stand here beside you today to recognize you for outstanding leadership and unwavering advocacy for music education in Pennsylvania's schools, and for a lifetime of service as an educator, musician, and a champion for students in the Commonwealth. On behalf of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association and all of our students and all of our members, we thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's an honor, and I mean that sincerely. Now, because of this, I have an hour speech prepared. Only kidding. Thank you so very much. God bless you all. Let's fight for the arts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can't wait to hear you.
All right. At this point, I'd like to welcome up Anna Gutzler. She is an elementary music educator in the West Shore School District. Now, Anna was a recipient of Pennsylvania's Student Teacher Stipend Program, and it helped her complete her preparation to become a music educator. And she's going to talk about why continuing and strengthening the support for that program is so important for the next generation of teachers. Anna?
Everyone. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Anna Gutzler, and I am an elementary music teacher in the West Shore School District. I graduated from Westchester University this past May, and I was fortunate to receive the student teaching stipend. That support was truly life-changing. As a college senior, I was used to a full schedule, balancing choir, marching band, piano lessons, part-time jobs, but student teaching is not just another commitment, it is the equivalent of a full-time job, often without any financial compensation. On top of that, my placements were about a 40-minute drive each way. That meant additional gas costs and less time to earn income. I knew how to manage my time, but what I didn't know was how I would manage the financial strain. I still remember the moment I first heard about the student teaching stipend. I was sitting in a meeting for student teachers preparing for their placements when someone mentioned the possibility of receiving $10,000 of support. I could not believe it. It felt like an opportunity that would be completely life-changing to my situation. When I found out I had been selected, it lifted an enormous weight off my shoulders. For the first time, I didn't have to worry about how I would pay for rent, groceries, and gas. I didn't have to divide my focus between becoming an educator and simply making ends meet. Instead, I could give my full energy to my students. That is what the stipend makes possible. It does not just support student teachers financially, but it strengthens the quality of education in our classrooms. It allows future educators to fully invest in their training, to be present, to be prepared, and to be engaged. I saw this not only in my own experience, but in the experience of my peers too. Many of my closest friends came from neighboring states like New Jersey or Delaware. Without this stipend, they may have returned home after graduation. But because of this program and the incentive to teach in Pennsylvania, they stayed here. The stipend doesn't just support individuals, it helps Pennsylvania retain high-quality educators in a time where we need them most. Because of this program, I graduated without taking on additional student loans. I was able to fully immerse myself in the 15 weeks of my student teaching. I learned more than I ever thought was possible from my mentor teachers, and I entered the classroom feeling prepared and confident. Now, as a teacher, I see those lasting impacts on their experience every single day. The skills that I built during student teaching are the foundation of my classroom, and I know I'm not alone. If we want what is best for our students across Pennsylvania, we must continue to invest in the educators that serve them. Expanding the student teaching stipend means supporting more future teachers, strengthening our schools, and keeping talented educators right here in our own state. I stand here today not just as a recipient of this program, but as proof of its impact. Thank you.
It's so important to hear from those that are directly impacted, student before and now talking about the Student Teacher Stipend Program. So we've heard from the House side and some of our champions there, and now we're going to go to the Senate side and hear one of our great champions for all of arts education, and she is fantastic to work with and always so helpful when it comes to anything we ask for here in the Capitol, Senator Carolyn Comitta.
Thank you so much. Good morning, friends, and good morning, Pierce Middle School. So excited you're here, so proud of you. Happy Music in the Schools Month. This is a very exciting month and a very exciting day. It's March in Harrisburg when I can hear beautiful music filling the halls. My office is down the hall here and up on the 4th floor. But I will tell you that the sound of young people making music just wafts its way through the hall and up to my office. Thank you all for joining us today. First, I want to thank all of our students, singers, and musicians from across the Commonwealth, including the amazing Pierce Middle School Concert Chorale behind me, under the direction of Denise Boyd from the Westchester Area School District, located in my senatorial district. Of course, we can't have music in our schools without our music teachers. Thank you, all of our friends in the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association, for all your good work. I want to recognize my legislative colleagues. Again, State Representative Eddie Day Pashinsky, who we love. I served with Eddie in the House, and I served with Joe Cerisi, who we also love. Thank you both for being here. Both of you are great partners and champions of music education in our schools and in our communities. We are here to celebrate the power of our music programs and the importance of music educators. Of course, these are not new concepts. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato viewed music, poetry, and dance as powerful tools for shaping moral and educated citizens. Plato wrote, "Music is a more potent instrument than any other for education because rhythm and harmony find their way into the inward places of the soul." That was in 375 BC, 2,400 years ago. Today, we continue to be inspired by the power of music as generations of students and young people have benefited from high-quality music programs in our schools and communities. After all, we know that music and arts education programs benefit students by boosting academic performance, reducing stress, improving behavior, enhancing concentration, creativity, self-confidence, and critical thinking skills. Meanwhile, there are significant challenges ahead, including threats to cut funding for music and art education programs, a growing shortage of teachers, including music teachers, challenges and disruptions to important institutions like eliminating the U.S. Department of Education, and a lack of state licensure for important fields like music therapy. Despite those challenges, music educators and student musicians can rest assured and know that they have friends and advocates in the Pennsylvania State Legislature. As we approach the state budget deadline, we continue to fight for education funding, including more resources for music and arts programs in our public schools. We continue to work to attract and retain new teachers by expanding student-teacher stipends, as we heard about a moment ago, and passing legislation to establish a Grow Your Own Educators program in Pennsylvania. In the Senate, I've worked with Senator Elder Vogel to introduce Senate Bill 759, bipartisan legislation that would license professional music therapists in Pennsylvania, encouraging them to work and stay in the Commonwealth rather than leaving for neighboring states that offer licensure. I also want to note that the Senate bill is a companion to my friend Rep. Eddie Day Pashinsky's House Bill 563. We're going to work together on that. So music has a place in our hearts. It's part of our culture. It's a way to express ourselves and connect with others. It contributes to our economy. And music must continue to play a leading role in our schools. That's why we are here today. So our students can show senators and representatives firsthand what they're learning in our public schools. I know there are several performances scheduled throughout the day, including an amazing performance by the Pierce Middle School Concert Chorale. Lastly, I want to take a moment to echo and recognize one person who has been a strong and passionate voice. Did we hear you sing today yet, Eddie? I'm not sure. But he is a passionate voice for music education. That is my friend, once again, the one and only Representative Eddie Day Pashinsky. As we heard, after 2 decades of service, that was after being a public school music educator for a long time, he is retiring from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives at the end of this term. We still have a lot of work to do, but this may be our last music in the schools together, Eddie, but we're going to work on that music therapy bill. So thank you, and thank you to everyone for being here today.
Thank you, Senator Comitta, for all that you have done and continue to do for us. So as we begin to wrap up here, I just want to take a moment to briefly review PMEA's policy asks for this budget and legislative season. PMEA has 4 clear priorities this year. First, we are asking for continued meaningful increases in the basic education subsidy and for adequacy payments through the Ready to Learn block grant so that all school districts have the resources they need to offer strong, well-rounded programs that include music. These investments help districts keep class sizes reasonable, maintain a full sequence of music offerings, and avoid the all-too-familiar cycle of cutting arts programs when budgets get tight, especially following the Commonwealth Court decision that found our school funding system unconstitutional. We must build a fair, predictable system that protects music and arts programs, not treats them as expendable. Second, we support increasing funding for the Student Teacher Stipend Program so that future educators, including future music teachers, can afford to complete their full-time student teaching placements and stay in the profession. Student teaching is essentially a full-time job without a paycheck, and many candidates juggle long commutes, instrument costs, and lost income while completing their placements. Strengthening this stipend program removes a major financial barrier and helps ensure that talented, diverse future educators can actually finish their preparation and enter Pennsylvania classrooms. Third, we are calling for stronger support for higher education, particularly the state system and state-related universities that prepare our music teachers. These campuses are the pipeline for the teachers who will lead our choirs, bands, orchestras, general music classrooms, and modern band programs. When higher education is underfunded, programs are cut, faculty positions go unfilled, and tuition rises, making it harder for students to pursue music education degrees and leaving districts with fewer qualified candidates to hire. Finally, PMEA urges the General Assembly to license professional music therapists in Pennsylvania, ensuring qualified practitioners are recognized and that students have better access to school-based music therapy services that support disability, trauma, and mental health needs. Licensure establishes clear training and practice standards, gives families and schools confidence in who they are working with, and helps keep highly trained professionals here in the Commonwealth. Together with strong music education, education, licensed music therapy can be a powerful part of supporting the whole child. These 4 priorities, fair basic education funding, a stronger education pipeline, robust higher education support, and music therapy licensure, are all about making sure every student in Pennsylvania can access the life-changing power of music in their schools. If you'd like to learn more about these priorities and explore additional resources, we invite you to visit our advocacy website at advocacy.pmea.net. There you'll find details on our full policy agenda, background information on these proposals, and tools you can use to stay engaged and help keep music education strong in your schools. So as we close this portion of the program, it's my privilege to introduce Brett Keith, PMEA President and music educator in the Altoona Area School District. Brett will offer remarks from the perspective of a practicing teacher and statewide leader, and then introduce the Pierce Middle School Concert Chorale, whose performance today will show exactly what is possible when policy, funding, and dedicated educators come together in support of music education. Brett?
Good morning, all, and thank you for being here today at the 2026 Pennsylvania Music Educators Association Advocacy Day. As Mark mentioned, my name is Brett Keith, and I currently have the honor of serving as the PMEA State President and as the Director of Choirs at the Altoona Area High School. I'd like to take first and foremost the opportunity to thank Mark Despotakis and Emily Broombaugh for their efforts in coordinating today's PMEA Advocacy Day and encouraging us all to be active advocates for music education in the Commonwealth. I'd also like to thank everyone whose remarks and thoughts about music education that you have heard today, including Senator Comitta, Representatives Eddie Day Pashinsky, and also Joe Cerisi. We are continually grateful for all of your efforts and your work in not just advocating for music education, but putting it into action on our legislative floors. And we are so grateful for the work that you continue to do and also to stand here beside us today. So thank you so much for that. I also want to thank the direct student representative of the student teacher stipend, who is Anna Gutzler of the West Shore School District, and also like to thank Maggie Rogers, 8th grader from Pierce Middle School of the Westchester Area School District, for sharing their remarks in support of how music has impacted their lives and continues to do so beyond those moments that they've shared with us today. I also want to recognize all of our student performers who you will hear just momentarily and also later today here within the building. Those are the Pierce Middle School Concert Chorale under the direction of Denise Boyd, the Southern Huntington Blue and Gold Tones under the direction of Peyton Ajay, and the Indian Valley Chamber Strings under the direction of Michelle Klaus. The performances that you will hear today are just a small snapshot of the work that is happening here and across the Commonwealth. In fact, nearly every single day of this month has filled these halls with music, and in no coincidence, March is Music in Our Schools Month. And so we are honored that we are able to celebrate that here in our legislative halls and to be able to share that with our communities and those who make an impact in all that we do. So we are grateful in allowing that to happen here within this magnificent building. Now, the mission of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association is to advance comprehensive and innovative music education through promoting effective instruction, providing meaningful learning experiences, and ensuring impactful and equitable music engagement for all. And let me say that again, for all. Music knows no boundaries. In communication, in teaching, in understanding, in age, in ability, in cultural and spiritual backgrounds, the list continues. Regardless of where children go to school, all students deserve access to quality music education. Music is a fundamental and a universal part of the human experience, and as such, is essential to a complete educational experience. It has the power to build, to unbuild, and to rebuild powerful thoughts, ideas, and in all people and the world. Our legislative recommendations hope to address the financial inequalities inherent in the educational system. We hope for a future that includes a clear path for students wishing to embark in a career in music education. We desire a framework that helps our teachers create standards-based lessons with support and inspiration from an arts liaison in the Pennsylvania Department of Education here in Harrisburg. And there is no one single way to address the needs of all students. Only through listening and cooperation can the musical needs of our students truly be met. And as Maggie mentioned, listening is one of the most important skills that all students can learn in their music classes. Music teaches us not only to hear what someone else has to say, it can deepen our understanding and provide tools for how to respond. Music is knowledge. Music is comfort. Music is joy. It is friendship. It is love. And most importantly, it is our great inheritance as the human race, and it is our responsibility to pass it on to the next generation. It is the issue and right of every human being. And it's our goal today and every day that we come to the table in unity, just as music does, to communicate, to listen, to feel, to hear, and most importantly, to meet the educational needs of our students for the benefit of our communities and the well-being of our cultures and societies. As we move forward, let us not forget the importance of music education as a subject area that impacts all facets of life, through support and collaboration, and also in action. While the world around us is constantly changing by the minute and by the second, the work that we do as educators and those who support music education stays the same. Our work does not change. And as we depart this space today, may all of our voices continue to advocate and elevate the one thing that transcends all persons and all time, and that is music. It is our soul, and it is our common bond.